Today on the channel, we continue on with the best of 2023, and today we're counting down my top 10 favorite NECA figures of 2023.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Here, and welcome back to the channel for another best of the best of 2023 action figure countdown video. Of course, doing a lot of best ofs as we close out 2023 and a little bit of the worst of as well, so check out all those videos. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. But of course, today we're counting down my top 10 favorite NECA figures for 2023, and there is a little bit of an asterisk with this one, as it does not include Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie editions, Mirage, Comic, Archie, Last Ronin. You get that. We did a separate video for that kind of stuff, so check out that video if you're interested in some turtle stuff. But this is pretty much everything else that encompasses NECA that they released in 2023, from Toonie Terrors to Ultimate Edition and all points in between. A banner year of NECA, a lot of good stuff, and going back, I bought a lot of NECA stuff, primarily turtle related. However, there was a few other lines I was all in on that we unboxed over the year on the channel, and some of those will be included in this very video. And of course, you know how we do these best ofs by now. We're going to start at number 10, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my favorite one. Of course, as always, this is my list, so it can't be wrong. It's my list. But your list can be in the comments down below, and make sure you put them in order. That's the fun part. That is the hard part. That's the challenging part. So make sure you put them from 10 to number 1. Number 1 being your favorite. So without further ado, let's kick it off. Let's start it off at number 10. We begin the countdown, of course, at number 10. And number 10, we're going to be polarizing from the get-go. We're starting off hot here on the channel. And it happens from time to time. But number 10, like I said, very polarizing selection. I'm guessing the majority of people will not have this on their list. However, I could see through some things here, as I did see the movie. And what movie am I talking about? Well, we're talking about the Munsters movie. And we're going to Herman Munster at number 10. Now, of course, I love Universal Monsters. I love Frankenstein. I love all that kind of stuff. I love the Munsters when I was a kid, so I'm all in on some of this kind of Munster stuff. Now, was the movie great? Absolutely not. To my opinion, like I said in the review, it was worth watching one time just to see what all the fuss is about. I don't regret watching the movie at all. It was what it was. It was a Rob Zombie film. You either love him, you hate him. Not a lot of people in the middle on Rob Zombie films. All the way back to House of 1,000 Corpses, of course, and all points in between. But I like this rendition of Herman Munster. Yes, it's not the classic Herman Munster, but it's got a Herman Munster vibe. It's got some campiness to it. It's a big figure. It looks good. I love the bright colors on it. Just a lot to like about this. Yes, the movie might not have been the greatest. Yes, it wasn't the classic Fred Gwynne portrayal of Herman Munster, but there's still something here for me. I still like this one, and that's why it's coming in at number 10 in my top 10 countdown. We've arrived at the number 9 spot in the top 10 NECA figures of 2023 as voted by me. And number 9, I think, was originally announced in 2022. And the amount of people that tagged me saying, oh, did you see this? Did you see this? Really resonates that this was one I was very popular for. Very excited for this one, of course, in 2023. And we did unbox it on the channel. And I got the perfect shirt on for this one here. As from NECA, of course, that is the countdown. We go to the NECA Willie Nelson figure. Now, is this perfect? No. Would I have preferred it more of the Ultimate style figures instead of kind of the Mego, upper scale Mego style that they do in some of these figures? Yes, I would have, but it is still very cool to have Willie Nelson on the shelf, and he's one of those ones that's a perfect desk display, perfect if you're a Willie Nelson fan, obviously, but just a very, very cool figure. And I'm holding out hope. There's been no rumors, no nothing, but I would love to see Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, give me the Buck Owens, some of my favorite country stars in this style, and put them all together on a shelf. I think it would be cool. How about the Highwayman? Maybe we will leave Chris Christopherson off. I've never been a Christopherson guy for whatever reason, but the Highwaymen would be a very cool set to have on the shelf. But this Willie Nelson, you gotta admit, is very cool. Of course, a pop culture phenomenon, really. He's kind of the country version of Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg being the rap version of Willie Nelson. They're very kind of similar, a lot of content. I mean, Willie Nelson, he'll out-hustle everybody. Even into his 90s, he's touring all the time. He's got like 4 new albums every single year. It's like the 70s all over again with Willie. But Willie Nelson, an all-time great, and very happy to have a good figure of him represented here in 2023. And Willie Nelson coming in hot at number 9. Feeling great at number 8. Number 8 comes from a toy line, a cartoon series, a movie series, a game that I know absolutely zero about. Absolutely know nothing about any of this, but I do know a cool figure when I see one, and I, of course, pick those up when I do see them. And coming in hot at number 8 here comes to us from the Neca Ultimates Dungeons & Dragons line. We got a knight. We got Strongheart. And like I said, I know nothing of Dungeons & Dragons. Never played the game. I always saw it at my local comic book toy stores over the years. Going back from when I was a little kid, there'd be in that, you know, game room over there. And I'd be like, I just don't understand what's going on in that room. And I still, to this day, when I go into those stores, I say, I don't know what's going on in this room. But of course, there was a cartoon series TV. There's probably books, comic books, you name it. All of it passed me by. I never really got into it, never understood anything about it. Never saw the cartoon. Maybe I was just a little bit too young for the cartoon at the time. For whatever reason, Dungeons & Dragons passed me by. However, a figure this good is not passing me by because I can always use a knight in my shelf, and this is a very versatile figure. You can put it with your Dungeons & Dragons, of course. You can move it with your Mythic Legions. You can put it with other NECA stuff. Of course, you can put it with some McFarlane things if you want to. Just a very cool figure here. It's always cool to get a knight, of course. Knights of the Round Table. Shout out to those knights out there. You get the mask that works on this one. You get a beautiful 80s face. He looks like he stepped out of Magnum PI episode or something. Soft goods cape, a little bit of bendy wire in there. Beautiful weapons, the chainmail. It is a knight at a reasonable price. This is a great pickup in the collection. Even if you don't know anything about Dungeons & Dragons, still an amazing figure. And that's why he's coming in at number 8. For the number 7 spot, we're feeling a bit of deja vu as we Zorak and roll into the number 7 spot. Once again, NECA Ultimate Dungeons & Dragons line. We got this little menace. Oh, he's a menace. He's just a little guy. You know I love a big figure, but I also love a little figure. And Zorak looks very, very cool. 2 different heads on this guy to use. All kinds of weapons. Packs a lot into this little body. Packs a big punch, a powerful punch. Does Zorak, but like a troll type character. Not sure what he's up to. I just know it's no good. And much like Strongheart before, don't know anything about this guy. Don't know anything about Dungeons & Dragons. But once again, a cool figure is a cool figure. Sticking with your Mythic Legions. Sticking with your Dungeons & Dragons. Heck, sticking with your Marvel Legends. Do whatever you want. Choose your own figure adventure. But I know Zorak. I chose him at number 7. The number 6 selection, possibly one of, if not the most nostalgic figures of the year for a whole generation. And when I talk a generation, I talk that 90s generation. Now, I was a little 80s, a little 90s. I had the best of both worlds, like a young Hannah Montana. Yes, I did. But number 6 for us coming in here in this countdown is one I didn't know I ever wanted or needed until I saw it for the first time at San Diego Comic-Con. Stole my heart, never let go. What are we talking about? From the Dinosaurs TV series, we got Earl Sinclair. Now, as far as TV series go in my childhood, I watched Dinosaurs. I probably saw every episode eventually. I'm pretty sure I did, actually. I liked it. Was it as iconic as some of the other TV shows I watched? No, it was not, but it was mandatory viewing if you were a kid of this generation. There was something cool about it, something fun about it, and sometimes you just get teleported back to being a little kid. You know, sitting to pizza, you got a Pizza Hut pizza going on, and you're sitting at the TV watching on a Friday night, whatever night it may have been. It's like you were just transported back to that when you saw this action figure. And there's something really powerful in that, the nostalgia of all that, as we do know. And Earl Sinclair brought that all over the place this year in 2023. Of course, we got Baby Sinclair. We'll see where the line ends up going, where it finishes out, who else they may add. Hopefully, they at least make the full family, and we'll see where it goes from there. But this one is cool. It's exactly what you would imagine it would be. It feels good, has good accessories, good looks to it, different heads, all kinds of fun stuff with this Earl Sinclair figure. One of those figures I didn't know I wanted until I saw it this year. Never would have guessed, never would have had this on my bingo card. It would have been in my top 10 NECA figures of the year. But here we are at number 6 with Earl Sinclair. We've reached the halfway point in the countdown. Have you got your list together? Have you put it in the comments down below? Make sure you get that done before the video is over. And make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel as we got videos every single day, as you guys know. But we're in best of mode. A lot of top 10s, top 5 lists to close out the best of action figures in 2023. But the number 5 selection's an interesting one here. One of my favorite characters mashed up with one of my least favorite characters. What could go wrong? Well, you come in right at the middle at number 5 for 2023 with NECA's Phantom of the Opera, Casey Jones. Now, I'm a big Casey Jones guy. Ever since I was a kid, I loved some Casey Jones. Loved him in the movie the minute he mentioned Jose Canseco, possibly the greatest baseball player of all time. You'll never change my mind on that. But to put the Phantom of the Opera and Casey Jones together just works. It makes a lot of sense. Of course, the Phantom in his mask, Casey in his mask. And I said, Phantom, not my favorite Universal monster character. Casey, one of my favorites. You put them together and you get a little bit of magic here at number 5. Just a good-looking one to go with the rest of the crossover figures. Love the mask. Love the full-on skull head you can use as well. Soft cape, of course, with wire in it. You can't beat that. And then looking like a hockey goalie. Just really does work at the end of the day. A very cool one. An awesome figure that we got here in 2023. And that's why Phantom of the Casey comes in at number 5. The number 4 selection comes from possibly my favorite NECA toy line that's been released the last couple of years. And this is another favorite there, going back to my childhood, going up all the way up to right now here in 2023. And these videos, the favorite videos of mine that I got to do on the channel the last couple of years, of course, we're talking NECA's Universal Monsters. You know, my dad was there for every single one of these that we unboxed here, starting with the beginning of the line. It's just sad to say my dad has retired. As you guys saw that Jacob Marley video where he announced his retirement. Oh, breaks my heart. But here we are at number 4, and my dad approves of this one, as do I, and it is Dracula. However, it is the black and white edition of Dracula. It's Dracula going out to the ball. I forget what thing he was going to there. And he had a phony name, too, at the same time. But, man, does this Dracula look good. Now, a lot of these black and white Universal Monster figures feel basically like the same as the colorized version, just black and white. There's really no difference. This one, there's some subtle changes here and some differences. In the outfit, in the head sculpts, it feels like a totally different figure, not necessarily just a black and white repaint. And that's what makes this one special, and by all means is the best black and white Universal Monster figures yet. One thing I got to give a shout out is this is possibly my favorite cape I've ever received in an action figure ever. I love the soft, silky feeling of this cape. It feels out of this world. I don't know what they used here, what it is. A little wiring to it would have made it even better, but man, you cannot beat this cape for feel test. The best feeling cape of all time, no doubt about it. Beautiful head sculpts, beautiful body sculpt. Just can't really miss with this Bela Lugosi version of Dracula here, but the black and white one gonna come in at number 4. Dangerously close to the end of the road here. We're at the number 3 spot in our NECA Top 10 countdown. And the number 3 spot, very similar to number 6 for a lot of people, I'd have to imagine. Of course, remind you, number 6 was Earl Sinclair. But number 3 is an 80s classic, heck, a classic to this day. A pop culture icon finally gets his due and is one of the best NECA figures of all time and one of the best 3 of 2023. What are we talking about? We're talking about an old friend, an 80s staple. We're talking about Alf, and I'm going to go Alf Regular Edition. Now, we did get a San Diego Comic-Con edition this year as well. I did pick that up. We did unbox that on the channel. Check out that video. But this Alf was so nostalgic. It is way better than it ever should have been. Just an absolute cool figure. You got the cat and the sandwich. You get cell phones. You get a TV camera. You get all kinds of different accessories, a Hawaiian-type shirt. A lot to like about this Alf. This Alf is just an awesome one. Another one, like I mentioned with Willie Nelson earlier, one of those ones you could have him just on your desk at work and all is right in the world. Everybody understands. Everybody knows Alf. Just a very cool figure. Not sure where this line will go in 2024. I kind of think it is done. But NECA, I know you're watching. Probably not. But if you were watching, give us a Willie Tanner. We need a Willie Tanner figure. And give us Seinfeld's mom as well. We'll take that, both of those figures. Make them a 2-pack. Do them Golden Girls style if you have to. We'll take what we can get at this point. But Alf, I'm glad we got another pop culture icon, a cool one for a lot of people, and a lot of people that don't even collect action figures picked up Alf this year. I know a few examples in my day-to-day life. So very cool to see this Alf right here. He's coming in hot at number 3. We've arrived at the number 2 spot in our top 10 NECA figures of 2023. The final 2 are upon us, and the number 2 selection is my favorite Universal Monster of all time. When I list all my Universal Monster classic favorites, this one's always at the top of the list. There's just something special about this one, and you could argue all day long, is he a monster or is humanity the monster? Oh, you be the judge. Look yourself in the mirror. But coming in at number 2, NECA Ultimate Universal Monsters Creature from the Black Lagoon Color Edition is going to be the number 2 selection for me. And this was a year we got a lot of creatures. We got a glow-in-the-dark one. We got this one. We got the black and white one. And we also got Crypt Club version coming early 2024. So things are looking good if you're a creature fan right now. I need to one day track down the Mondo creature. That's on my long game list. But this creature, all-timer. Been excited for this one for a long time. In the infancy of this line, I remember the first videos doing once again with my dad, and my dad and I did review this on the channel and the other creature figures as well. There was a lot of surprise with this, but we knew it was coming. We couldn't wait to see what it was going to look like, and they blew away all my expectations with this one. The different head sculpts, the moving mouth, different hands, of course. It's the creature all day long. It's the Gill Man. I am here for this. Bravo, NECA team, getting us this one in 2023. I'm very anxious to see where the Universal Monster line goes into 2024. We're getting a little deeper cuts there. We'll see how that ends up netting out for NECA. It'll net out okay for me. I won't have my dad by my side, but we'll still review them on the channel, so look forward to those in the future. But this one here, Creature from the Black Lagoon, coming in at number 2, which only leaves one more. What is the best NECA figure of 2023? Well, stay tuned. We've reached the number 1 spot. Make sure you get your list together. Put it in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video. Always helps the channel out when you give the videos the old thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channel for content every single day. You don't want to miss a video. It's all going down between the 2 channels. But of course, we've hit the number 1 spot. And once again, we go to NECA. Obviously, it's the countdown's about. But we go to the Universal Monsters once again for a return visit from an old friend named Bela Lugosi. A return from Dracula, and an amazing figure. That's why it's number 1 here. But Bela Lugosi, an all-timer. Look him up. Crazy stories about his life, his movie career, his travels, all that kind of stuff. But obviously, the role he was born to play, he is Count Dracula. Heck, he was buried in this outfit when he did die. But they killed the Bela Lugosi likeness. We've seen a lot of Bela Lugosis. We've seen a lot of Dracula figures over the years. And I gotta say, NECA did the most remarkable job I've ever seen in a Bela Lugosi figure. We talked about the black and white one. Really good, but the color for me just pops on this one. There is just something scary, evil, but classy at the same time about this Dracula. Once again, a beautiful cape, beautiful heads, beautiful hands that convey emotion. Whenever you can get a figure that conveys emotion like that by simple different hands, different heads, man, you know you got something going on that's good with that figure, and that's what we got with this Bela Lugosi Dracula. Coming in at number 1, a true all-timer in the figure department. A very tough one for the NECA team to ever top in the Universal Monster line. We'll see where it goes once again in 2024. But Dracula coming in at number 1, a strong number 1 for me. So once again, put your list in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels. Turn on the old notification bell, and don't forget about Patreon for early access to videos like this. Bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, you name it. It's all going on over there at the old Patreon channel. Of course, Patreon, your best way to support this channel and all the content it does bring. You can also support the channel over at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, and don't forget social media. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Bela Lugosi's Dracula and the rest of the bunch, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.